Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bourbon Bites. My name is Clifton. I have missed you all so much, even though it's only been like a week off, but I feel like it's been a really long time. So, welcome back to the channel. As you know, this is normally whiskey reviews with an 80s twist, but now we are switching it up tonight. We are doing a bit of sipping rums, which I have done a bit of rum on the channel. I'm not entirely new to rum, but I've never done a blind rum flight. So, I'm very excited to get into that tonight. We have a very special guest joining us who sent this flight over for me to do. I'm so excited. I have not spoiled it for myself. If anyone does want to see the answers to this flight, if you're impatient like I am, if you're watching the replay, hey, check the description down below. If you're watching live, check out our Discord server. I put a link to it in the description. I posted the answer key there on the Bourbon Bites channel. If you want to see ahead of time, please don't spoil it in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it. I have not seen the answer key, so I'm going to be guessing through proof, cask finish, maybe region. I don't know. Maybe I'll get daring and guess some other things. I'm probably going to be way off because I'm very inexperienced with rum, but I'm very, very excited to give it a try. So without further ado, please welcome my guest tonight, the amazing support of the channel that has provided these samples. Please welcome Doug from Taste and Sensibility. Welcome, Doug.
Hi, Clifton, and everybody else.
So good to have you on. I feel like we've been in touch. I've sent you you've won bottles that I've given away, but I feel like we've never done a stream together. So glad to have you on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So tell me, are you more of a whiskey or a rum guy or both?
Oh, I would say whiskey is the vast portion of my collection, but I get into mezcals and rums and all sorts of fortified wines, as they're often finishing casks for whiskey, the whiskey world. So I like to know what they taste like. So
you've explored more than me. Like I love mezcal. I'm also a beginner to that, but like it sounds like you're the guy to go to like just get an overall like impression. You can kind of guess like what people like. Like you maybe guess like, oh, they like this cocktail, maybe they'll like this spirit. It seems like you have the knowledge there.
Yeah, I could probably do a little advising.
I've done some fortified wine streams, mainly for the same reason you said, because a lot of things are finished in them. So getting a chance to try like, oh, that's kind of what whether it's port or different types of sherry cask, like it's really eye-opening because I never knew that. Being a whiskey drinker, I'm like, yeah, I see sherry cask, I see PX cask, but like I never really knew what that meant. So now it's really kind of cool to go through each of those and actually taste the wine itself.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's why I was doing it.
Well, tell folks a little bit about your channel. I know you've been doing it for a while. You don't just do spirits though. You go all over the place. You review lots of different.
I'm celebrating all the flavors and aromas that God puts into our food and drinks, and it's just great and amazing. I'm learning so much doing it. But we've done chilies and peppers. We've done coffee. We've done varietal honeys, cheeses, black licorice,
I've come across a lot of the cheese videos. So many of my Discord members are really into cheese, so I've watched some of your videos just to kind of get an idea of like, because I'm such like I want to get into it. I just never really was that growing up, so like I just have the base level knowledge. But like you get some really interesting ones on your channel, and they're so fun to watch.
And cheese and wine are kind of like whole universes to themselves that are so bewildering and big, and it's hard to know where to start. So I usually use some sort of guidebook or reference to step through everything, and I list it all on the channel.
So cool. Yeah, I wasn't really into wine until I moved to California. Then I realized you kind of have to be into wine living in California, like at least a little bit. So like just being asked like what type of wine you want, like I normally would just say, oh, red, and then they gave me like 4 different options. I'm like, crap, I gotta know some stuff about wine.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I want to say hello to some folks here in the chat. I see Five Fingers saying hi, Five. Gary Franchi is joining. Oh, look at you. You're joining in the chat as well. Good to see you. Brandon, what's up? Welcome, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, we should be in for a really fun blind flight. I'm really excited. I'm so intrigued by rum. I'm not nearly as educated about it as I am about whiskey, but I'm very excited to get into it. I know Emily Chambers here. She's like a cocktail. Like she likes rum, but she's also like rum cocktails are like her thing. So good to see you, Emily. Chris, all the way from Australia. Parks Place, good to see you. I know you said you were excited about tonight's stream. Well, I'm glad to have you here in the chat. Who else is here? Have I missed anyone? I probably have. I'm getting caught up. I'm way behind. Zopher's here. Yo ho ho for the rum. Yes, I see you are a rum fan as well. Tater Dom, Lil is here as well. Good to see you, Lil. Viking Bourbon, Major Zero. Donnie, remind you to hit subscribe, hit the bell button, be notified, hit the thumbs up, all the things. Appreciate you, Donnie. Um, and if I missed you, feel free to chime in again. Oh, Average Drinker is here. Oh, damn, it's been so long. We need to be in touch. We need to do a stream together. It's been too long. Hope you were doing well, Dara. You guys check out Average Drinker. All the channels that are supported here in the chat, you guys go check them out. Speaking of that, Taste and Sensibility, his channel link is in the description. Please go check it out. Go give him a subscription. Should be a lot of fun. It's very educational, very fun. So, yeah, y'all go. Make sure to subscribe to him before the end of the stream. Watching. Cool. Well, so I guess tell us before we get these. I'm gonna go ahead and get them poured, but tell us a little bit how your journey into rum started. Like, how did you first really? How did it capture you?
It probably came through Ralphie.
Okay. Yep.
As I was doing my whiskey, ramping up my whiskey tasting, I was watching Ralphie all the time, and he was talking about mezcals and sipping rums, and so I just got a few recommendations from him, and it was like, wow, these are wild. I've tasted mixers before, but these are nothing like those things.
Well, I'm excited.
So it's a whole new world.
Is this so? This might. I don't want to spoil it for myself. Are these potentially from different like regions, like different areas that the rum is made, or if that's a spoiler, you don't have to reveal.
Rum really is probably the most widely distilled spirit in the whole world. All you need is sugar or molasses or sugarcane juice, and you can make some rum.
Okay, and so it's from all over.
It can be all over, and you get quite a variety of rules and regulations from all the different countries. Like some countries have the same kind of age rules that Scotch whiskey has. Youngest whiskey is what you see on the label. Youngest rum is what's in there. And other countries, they don't have that rule. So when you see 25-year-old rum, you need to start a chart of all the different countries that you might be interested in and what the rules are to know what the labels mean.
That was one of my first, I think, mistakes in the world of rum. I just assumed it was the same as whiskey. And I bought a don't want to like name the brand or shame them or anything, but I bought a rum that was like 23 years old. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be amazing, and like it's gonna be like old. And I tried it, and it just was the sweetest. Like you don't want to just drink this. Yeah. Like this is just like. And then I realized that's when I learned that rule. I'm like, oh, age statement doesn't mean what it means in whiskey in some areas that make rum. So that was my first mistake in the world of rum.
And then I've been to different, bars and restaurants where they give you flights of different rums, and some things I was tasting there were very young and just flavored with wood chips, oak essence, oak residue. I don't know what, sawdust. Who knows what it was, but you could tell it was a young rum with oak in it, and it's like, wow, that would not happen with Scotch or bourbon or any of the other major whiskeys that we're used to.
Definitely, they're a lot stricter.
It's the Wild West.
Yeah,
rum.
There
So
are some.
You gotta know.
I know there are a few like countries that have tried to tighten it down and restricted a bit, and I like that. But I mean, like, not that I'm opposed to people going outside of the boundaries and stuff, but my biggest thing, especially in the world of whiskey, is transparency. Like be real with us. Don't tell us it's a 23-year-old when there's some 2-year-old whatever mixed in there. That's my thing.
So it takes years to learn all those things.
Definitely. Well, like I said, I'm a total noob to it, but Joe's dropping your channel there. Yeah, you guys go subscribe to him. Like I said, there's also a link in the description to the answer key to this blind flight. So it's blind for me. I don't know what I'm drinking. I'm going to go through and I'm going to guess the ABV, the maturation / finishing cask, and it says besides bourbon. Okay. Oh, any of them besides. Okay, gotcha. It makes sense because they typically use used bourbon barrels. It makes sense. And then rank in order of preference. So I'm going to rank these. I'm going to guess the ABV. I might try to guess the age statement if there is one. Do some of these have age statements, Doug?
Yes, they do. Yeah, some are age stated, some are non-age statements.
Okay, if I'm feeling daring, I might try to do some age statements. I don't know, probably really bad. But like I said, the answer key is on Discord. I'll drop the link here as well. I think. Well, I don't have it copied already. Let me drop it in the chat in case you're maybe on your phone or something. Let me drop the link in the chat. Everyone's welcome to join the Discord, by the way. It's not just for the answer key. It's an amazing community of my viewers, my patrons. If you're a patron, you get access to some exclusive rooms, like our monthly movie night, which is happening tomorrow. We're watching Die Hard. I've actually never seen Die Hard. Are you a Die Hard fan, Doug?
Oh, I can't say that I am, but it, if I was, it'd be one of my favorite Christmas movies, right?
Well, that's why I'm watching. I'm like, it's turning December tomorrow. Let's. People keep telling me it's a Christmas movie. We'll find out. But yeah, no, I'm excited to watch it for the first time. And people have been asking for that movie for like all year. So that's one of the perks I have on Patreon for everyone, $5 and up. So if anyone's interested in joining tonight, hey, link to Patreon is down below. We'd love to have you join our movie. So, all right, I'm ready to drink some almost said whiskey. By the way, the drinking game on this channel is when I'm drinking a different spirit that's not bourbon or whiskey. If I call it bourbon or whiskey, everyone has to drink at home. So I'm really bad about doing that. So, all right, I'm going to start with A. So normally I would ask you to tell me about it, but I don't want you to. It's the blind flight. I'm going to nose this one. So this is, so like I said, I'm nosing and tasting it, and then I'm just guessing the ABV and any maturation. Okay, this is going to be so difficult. Oh, I will say the nose. I mean, I'm getting some proof on this one on the nose. Like I don't know. I mean, to be fair, this is the first like straight pour I've had all night. Like I had a cocktail with dinner, but like this is the first neat whiskey or drink. This is the first neat pour I've had all night.
Good thing I refill my glass.
You don't have to, trust me. You don't have to drink every time I do it. This is for the chat. Yeah, it's got some. It's interesting because it has a little bit of a. I don't know if it's like it's a fruit, but it's like a dried fruit. I don't know. It's like a dried citrus kind of note on it. Very different than I think some of the rums that I've had. A lot of my favorite rums are Barbados rums. That's just what I've gravitated towards as a whiskey drinker. But I've always been curious to try other regions and try different styles. There's some smokiness there too. Not like a scotch, but like a, I don't know, just like a maybe it's just the char, like a barrel char to it. Well, I can tell you, I cannot guess the proof or age on nose. I will say, if I base nose alone, I would think it's higher proof, but I guess I gotta give it a try. Well, yeah. Cheers to you, Doug. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I'm looking forward to having you reveal all these to me. Oh, interesting. I'm still leaning towards higher proof. Not quite like crazy high proof like some that I've had before. I should probably be tracking my answers, unless you want to track them. Let me pull up a notepad just so I can keep track of it. A. If I had to guess proof based on, let me give it another sip. Like I'm going back to my Matt Madness days where I'm like challenging myself. It's been a while since I've done that, but proof. I feel like I'm teetering on between 100 and 110. I'm gonna go right in the middle. I'm gonna say 105 proof for just my first impression, because it doesn't quite hit me as hot as a 110. It's got a little bit edge over like 100. So I'm just gonna guess 105 for this one. Now, extra maturation. I do think there's something else there. I don't think this is just bourbon cask. I'm getting a little bit something extra there. Now, what that is, couldn't tell you. Any hints? You know, you don't want. I know you don't want to give me any hints or spoil it, but yeah. To me, it's almost like it's giving me like a stewed apple note, which I know is not a finishing cask, but it's got a little bit of like an apple. I mean, maybe I want to say apple brandy. I don't know. I don't know if I mean, maybe it's a thing. You're making this difficult for me.
Fruity notes are common.
Oh, you said brandy casks are
common? Fruity notes are common.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right, so at least I'm not totally off base here. Yeah, to me, it's got a little bit like a cognac or maybe like Armagnac cask. It's leaning towards that like brandy kind of note. I can't quite place which one. I'm just gonna blind guess and say apple brandy just for my own failure when I get to the answer key of this one, but that one's very good. I will say it's a little bit different than the typical rums that I've had in the past. It's a little sweet, but it's not like that artificial, like too sweet note. I think it's just maybe the sweetness from the rum, the sugarcane itself. What are your thoughts on A? Do you like this one? Is this one you like, or?
Yeah, I like it. It's It's one of the favorites.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I'm glad to hear. Yeah, it's a really good start for sure. I'm glad you didn't just like
Got
blow
lots
my
of things
palate with
going
like
for
a.
it.
I'm glad you didn't blow my palate with like a Jamaican like first thing like ugh like not that I'm opposed to Jamaican, but like if that blew my palate, I'd be pretty terrified.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I want to get caught up in the chat. Chris says, "Welcome to summer down under," and it's currently 95 degrees Fahrenheit here. Dang, it is in the 50s here in California. Doug, where are you based?
I'm in New Orleans area.
Oh, nice. What's the weather like there?
It just turned colder and rainy and gray and awful.
Yeah, yeah. Imagine. I still have yet to visit New Orleans. It's the number one place in the U.S. that I haven't been yet that I want to go. So it's literally
Hmm.
if it's not next year, it's going to be the year after. Would love to visit. It's such a great, just the culture, the food. I'm a big foodie, so like bring me anywhere that's like known for their food, and I'm down. Parks Place said, "Blessed to call Doug one of my best." He originally said best fiends, which is like a whole different
Well,
like
he's
best
sort of a
friends.
best friend. Yeah.
He got me started on my whiskey and every other spirits journey. Rock on, brother. Oh, that's awesome. Well, glad to have him on the show and glad to have you in the chat. Sharon LeBlanc says Doug's channel is awesome. Got some fans here in the chat. That's awesome. Chris said, "So do we need to bring you Australian rum next year?" Australian rum. I've
Do
definitely
it.
not
Do
had
it.
that. Is it good? You've had it?
No.
Okay, it sounds good.
Just
I've
do
had
it. Do it,
Australian
Chris. Do it.
whiskey. Yeah, let's do it. Steven said, "Nice, I made it to the rum stream." Also, hey, right, Steven, good to see you, man. It's been a minute. Hope to see you maybe on the hangout. We'll see. I know you've been busy lately, but would love to see you in the hangout. Hint for Clifton, it's rum. Wow, really? Didn't believe it. Cohen says, "I'm going to pour some Hamilton 151 Demerara over an ice
Ooh.
sphere and have a cigar." Ooh, okay. I do have a 151 Demerara. I don't think it's Hamilton. Which one do I have? What's the other popular one that's that overproof? I
I
bought
don't
it
buy
because I was
that
getting
one.
into tiki drinks, like
Hmm.
overproof. It's gonna be the one that pops up. It's not Hamilton, but it was the lemon heart. I don't know. I
Yeah.
bought that one because I'm really into tiki cocktails. So Kathy Joe from Women of Whiskeys is here in the chat. Kathy Joe, welcome. Good to see you. Great stream last night. If y'all missed it, Kathy Joe and Michelle did a fun. It was like a things I shouldn't know trivia thing. I had to drop out. I'm like, I'm really bad at this, so I dropped out. But it was a really fun stream. Good to see you, Kathy Joe. Cohen said it's probably a Martinique rum. Okay, maybe. And like I said, answers are on Discord. So if y'all want to see the answers, look at them. Don't spoil them. All right, let's go to move on. I'm going to move on to B. So B, I'm looking at the label like I'm supposed to see something on it other than just the letter B. I'm so used to knowing what I'm drinking before I'm drinking. It's been a while since I've done a blind flight, so. Okay, similar on the nose. I think it smells a little sweeter and a little less smoky oaky for the nose on this one. Did I guess everything I was supposed to guess on that one, by the way?
Yeah, I think we got enough there.
Okay, I didn't guess age, but I'm realizing that will be. I just can't. I'm not going to even attempt that. You didn't ask for that, so. Yeah, this smells sweeter. It's almost a little more of like a. It's more like a caramel candy kind of like one of those like caramel chews that have like the white what do you? I always forget what those things are called. It's like a cowtail, right? But it's like the squares. Do you know what I'm talking about? I feel like everyone's grandma had it growing up. It was like it's like caramel with like a little white like cream in the middle. It was soft.
Hmm.
It was chewable.
Yeah, I remember something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting on the
But
nose. It's very like it's a little creamy, a little. This one's definitely like I think sweeter for sure. Doesn't smell as high proof, but I think I had to go for a taste before I give it a try. So I'm gonna try it now. Okay, that one has a little funk. Like there's a little bit of that like rum funkiness to it. Not quite as intense as I've had in the past. Like I said, I've had some really weird Jamaican rums. There's a little something funky there. But to me, it's like banana, tropical. Yeah, definitely like leaning into that. Not quite like when I think tropical, I normally think pineapple and things like that, but I'm not getting that. It's definitely to me more like maybe like a really ripe banana note.
hmm Yeah,
Like this
tropical
one.
fruits and overripe fruits are probably some of the most common tasting notes for these kinds of rums.
Oh, really interesting. Yeah, for sure. I think I can
Hmm.
just imagine this in a cocktail, just being incredible. Now you're gonna tell me it's like a $300 rum. Like, don't recommend that, but yeah, it's a little. I would say hard. It's less approachable, and I'm coming from a whiskey perspective. Like
Hmm.
I think transitioning from whiskey to rum is something that's possible. I think a lot of people are a little intimidated by rums. I will say that A to me is a little easier to get into. B has a little bit more funk, a little more like, okay, this is not what I'm used to kind of note. I mean, ABV, it's hard to guess. I mean, definitely less than the last one. Hmm. Because I thought the last one was 105. I'm gonna, I'm probably gonna be way off on this. Again, I totally should have practiced. I should have like had a whiskey or something to reference, but going in this blind. So I'm gonna say this one's 100 proof. I'm gonna say 100 proof. I'm probably way overdoing it. And then finishing cask. Ooh, that's what's tough. It's like to me, I'm not getting anything very
Hmm.
specific. Like that's like different. The first one definitely had something different about it, like nuance to it. This one I'm not quite getting that. Hmm. I don't think this one has a cask finish to it. I'm gonna say this one's just bourbon cask. I'm here to be proven wrong though. It's good. I like it. I just think I my flavor profile typically goes towards A so far. So
Okay,
but I'll keep moving through
sounds
these. I'm
good.
going to rank them, of course, at the end. So I'm going to cleanse my palate a bit after that. By the way, you said you're not drinking all these along with me. You're just drinking a couple of them, right?
I'm just drinking one or two.
Okay, cool. I originally was like, okay, you got them all poured. Right? He's like, no, 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 too much, too much. I'm like, okay, okay, we'll just do a little, one at a time. But I'm curious to hear about each of these as we go through them once we reveal them. So I'm going to move on to C's. So give C a nose. Oh, man, these are so different. They're all so different on
Hmm.
the nose. This was way less sweet. Very dry, I would say. It almost has like a brininess to it, like almost like a. It's kind of reminiscent of some scotches that have a little bit of that like maritime kind of note to it.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I've not got that note on a rum before on the nose. It's kind of. I mean, definitely smells higher proof. I have a weird note now. I'm sure you're gonna tell me this is not a normal note. I'm almost getting like a bit of like. This is such a. I don't mean this in a bad way. It's giving like Elmer's glue. I'm getting a little bit of like a glue note. I assume that's not normal.
Haven't heard that on rum, but I have heard it
Okay. Okay.
for whiskeys.
It's I don't know what it is about it. It's like a it's something about maybe it's that or maybe it's more of like a ink or like a marker. It's it reminds me of a classroom. Something about this reminds me of a classroom, which I don't think any of my teachers were drinkers, but I mean maybe. It's really interesting nose. This definitely has got me the most intrigued of all of them. I'm gonna give it a try. Cheers. Oh, deceptively low proof. I interpreted that as high proof because the nose, I'm getting a lot of like the ethanol kind of thing to it.
Hmm.
That drink's lower. That drink's lower, like lower than anything we've had so far. I don't even know if I want to. Do I want to say 80 proof? I'm gonna go with my gut and say 80 proof on that one. I think that one's definitely the nose is deceiving. There's so much flavor jumping out of the nose, but that's interesting. I almost want to say the first thing that this reminds me of is seagrass by barrel. Have you had barrel seagrass?
Yes.
I'm getting a little bit of that, and I know that's finished in rum casks. That's partially maybe why I'm getting that. That one also
Hmm.
has apricot brandy cask, and I've never had apricot brandy. I have no idea what that actually tastes like, but I'm getting some of those similar notes with this one. I'm just gonna again, like I obviously know nothing. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say apricot brandy cask because why not? You're gonna say I'm so wrong. I can't wait till the reveal. All right, I'm gonna move on to D. I'm gonna make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat.
Wow.
Oh, is that a wow? Like me being so off?
Oh no, nothing like that.
Okay. Jamaican is the funky rum I like, says Donnie. Jamaican rum is. Oh, he said it again. Hampton Estate is the king of funky Jamaican stuff. Okay, I've not had that. Oh, Emily's dropping the candy we're talking about. She's like the queen of researching. Park Space said Jamaican and Barbados rums are where it's at. Truly unadulterated in their own right. Cool. Well, that was interesting. I think that's probably like I said, the most interesting of them all. We'll get to the ranking next, but let's go on to move to D. D smells familiar. D reminds me of A in a lot of ways. D is very oak forward. I like that. D smells to me like, if you told me this was a whiskey based on the nose, I'd probably tell you it's a whiskey. It's very oak. It's astringent. It definitely is. I don't know, like if I was guessing age, that would kind of throw me off a little bit. There's just a lot of oak character on that one. Ooh. I think I'm gonna like this. I'm just telling you based on the nose. I think I'm gonna like it. Let's try it. Cheers. Proof-wise, I think this is another lower one. I'm going to stick with my 80 guess on the C. I'm going to say this is also 80 proof. Finish, though. There's a lot going on for an 80 proof. I say an 80 proof. I actually don't know if it's 80 proof. For a supposedly 80 proof whiskey, there's a lot of flavor going on. I said whiskey. Dang it. Chat, drink. This one is leaning towards the sherry category for me. It's very subtle. It's not like, I don't think this was primarily aged in like a sherry cask, I don't think. But I do think maybe it's like a blend of like bourbon cask and sherry cask. Is sherry too generic of an answer, Doug? Or should I be more specific when I'm...
No, that's good enough.
Okay, I'll say that. I'll just go ahead and say sherry cask. Just a guess, but I'm getting some of those darker, redder fruits. They're very subtle, though. It's not dominant. I've had some rums that have a really dominating flavor of that. This isn't one of those. It's very subtle. It's very easy. I mean, like I said, sipping rum, right? This is definitely, like, I could drink this all night. Now you're going to tell me it's like 130 proof, and I'm like, oh my God, that would be a mistake. But it tastes, it's very easygoing, and it's very, very good. Parks Place asks, before tonight, what has been your most memorable rum? Ooh, memorable in a good way or a bad way? Because one of my viewers gave me a cask strength Jamaican rum, unaged. It's called Rum Fire. Are you aware of Rum Fire? Yeah. I didn't know what to expect with that one. I tried it neat. That one messed me up for a while. I'm like, oh God. Now I've adapted to it. I'm prepared for it. But I will say, Rum Fire for the first time, I couldn't handle it. It was too much. That was memorable in a bad way. Memorable in a good way was the first Foursquare. I bought a lot of Foursquare rum, which is Barbados rum. The annual release where they had like a 2007, 2008, 2009, or whatever that. I think the first one I had was 2007, if I remember correctly. That was the first high-end rum that I bought beyond that one that I thought was 23 years old and that was super fancy that wasn't. I bought that Foursquare that was, like I said, 2007 or 2008. Blew my mind. Like that was around the time where right after Fred Minnick said like Foursquare is the pappy of rum, and I immediately knew what he meant by that by just knowing how delicious that was. So that's got to be my most memorable positive moment with rum. Cohen says Rum Fire is unaged Hampton Estate stuff, 126 proof. Yeah, it's intense. It's intense.
That would be funky.
Yeah, Doug. What about you? What's your most memorable rum? Don't spoil. If it's one of these tonight, you can say it, but don't spoil it.
I've got a real interesting craft-made rum from Hawaii that's
Oh,
fairly
okay.
young, but I think it aged pretty well in that environment. So I think it's only 4 years old, and it's cask strength, and I don't get a lot of complexity to it, but I like sipping it just because of the care that was taken in the distillation and the aging. Maybe cask selection's good.
So,
Uh,
what's the brand of that one? Because
it,
I have a friend from Hawaii that's shared some of the local spirits with me. I don't
I
remember the name of it.
don't even remember the
Okay,
brand. I
gotcha.
bought it
Well,
in a Texas liquor store on one of my trips to Austin
oh,
for the
really?
Bastards
Awesome.
Ball or some other trip. So it was like a store pick for that store. And high proof young rum from Hawaii. It's like, whoa, this. I mean, it's not something you see every day. So I just
Oh
glommed
yeah.
onto it, and I really, really enjoyed it, even though it's fairly non-complex.
That's interesting. Yeah, like I said, like one of my patrons, Don Nishida, he lives in Hawaii and he loves sharing different like Hawaiian spirits. And I'm pretty sure I've had some rums. I also don't recall what their names were, so he's not in the chat tonight, unfortunately. But yeah, no, Hawaii is making some interesting spirits. I feel like they're really ramping up like the craft game. Like it's so different than, well, one, they
Hmm.
have to consider like having to ship things. Like that's why their costs are so high. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, Hawaiian spirits are so intriguing to me for sure. All right, I'm gonna go in for E. This is the last one of the night, and then I'm gonna rank them. I haven't ranked them yet. If y'all are curious about these before you see the answers, like I said, Discord link is in the description. You can see the answer key there. You just have to click on the Bourbon Bites channel, and then go. Each one is hidden by a little spoiler tag. You just have to click the spoiler link on each of them. Comment says, is it Kohana? That must be a popular. Um,
It's something like Kaloa, Koloa.
oh, okay. Okay.
Is what
Well, I
I'm
know there's a
remembering.
place called Kualoa Ranch. I don't know if it's related or not. Probably not. But yeah, I have no idea. But let's go ahead and nose E. Ooh, this is sweet, but in a different way. This is dark, really rich, really chocolatey.
Hmm.
It smells very well aged, like very. If I had to guess what the oldest one is, I'm gonna make a note. I think E smells the oldest. I'm gonna make a note. At least smells that way. It's super rich, super dense. There's the oak. There's a sweetness, but it's like a molasses, like a really dark brown sugar. I like the nose on that as well. All right. I can't guess the proof on nose. I'm gonna give it a taste. Hmm. This is familiar, but not in the familiar like the earlier I saw one was familiar and I thought it might have been like Barbados or Foursquare. This is familiar because it tastes like something I've had in either Mexico or Hawaii because I've done like some rum
Hmm.
tastings in both those places. That's very familiar to me. I like that. It again, I think it would work in a cocktail and neat. If I had to guess, oh my gosh, I have no idea. This is the most familiar tasting of them all, which is it's crazy to say. I'm curious to see what this one is.
Interesting. And it is. I'll say it's the least expensive and the one most likely to go into a cocktail out of this whole bunch.
Okay, well maybe that's why it's familiar. Hmm. Proof wise, I think it's a bit up. I think it's a bit more than the others. I'm gonna say. Hmm. I'm gonna say 90. I'm gonna say 90 proof. I'm putting. By the way, I'm putting in proof. We can convert to ABV later. That's just how my brain works. So we'll say 90 proof. So we'll figure that out. 45% ABV. Finishing cask. Ooh, this one's tough. It's very sweet. Hmm. This is tough. This is tough. I do get that there's a hint of a different cask there. I don't want to say rye whiskey cask. That's weird. Only a few places have done something weird like that. I'm just gonna keep going back to it. It's got like a bit of a bitter note to it. I honestly have no idea. I think this is something, but like I don't know what that thing is. I'm gonna say Curacao cask because why not? I know that's totally wrong, but I'm just gonna say something. Maybe it will relate to whatever the actual answer is. Women of Whiskeys is in the chat. Cheers to you. I gave y'all a shout out earlier. Great live stream last night. Y'all go check out the replay. Parks Place, after thinking about it, Hawaii does seem like an awesome place to age rum. Yeah, the thing with Hawaii is like their temperature doesn't really vary too much. So it's like a little more moderate. So I wonder how that would affect things. Very interesting. All right, are we ready to... Wait, I should rank these first, right? Before I get into a reveal?
Yes.
All right.
Good idea.
Right. Let me quickly taste back through. Oh, A is bringing out way more cinnamon than I had the first time, now that I've gone through all these. A is very cinnamon forward. B is good. I think A is better. Ooh, I like C. Ooh, this is going to be tough. Oh, this is going to be tough. Doing a little swap in here. By the way, last chance for anyone in the chat that wants to get the answer key before we get it. It's in Discord. Also, if you're in the chat, let us know your favorite rum. I'm very curious. All right, I got my top two. Let's see where the others land. Well, Doug, do you have anything interesting coming up on your channel that people should know about?
Oh, I'll probably be doing some wine tastings throughout December.
Oh, nice. Any specific, are you doing it by region, by like I'm curious what the...
I am studying the wines of Spain and Argentina and Australia specifically because you can get good equivalents to very famous ones, but for much less cost. But I'm really doing wines from everywhere. But it's just awesome. More trying to find the boundaries of what the flavors are. Mm-hmm. You know, what's the range of flavors?
Oh, that's really interesting. We bought a wine advent calendar from Aldi based on one of my patrons' recommendations. But this one, I did it last year, and last year it sucked because it was all like California wine, which no shame to that. This year they actually went international with it, so there's wine from different countries. So I'm getting a little taste of each country. That way I'll know. So far, Italy is leading the way for me. Italian wine and Spanish wine. I didn't think I liked Spanish wine, but Italian and Spanish are like my top ones so far. So
Italy and Spain are crazy countries for wine. And they're so complicated, it takes forever to figure it out.
Yeah, so I'm loving exploring wine. Like I said, we did an advent calendar specifically just to try to find the wine that we really... Again, living in California, I supposedly have to like... not like wine. I already liked red wine. I don't like white wine. There's a few select white wines that I like. I love a Chardonnay. I love some of the desserty white wines, but I don't like a white blend. That's just not my style. But I love red wine. Women of Whiskey says, I probably shouldn't watch the reveal since I'm doing this flight on Wednesday. Yes. Leave Michelle. Leave Kathy Joe. Don't spoil it for yourself.
To all the whiskey tubers who also got rum flights from me,
yes,
they're all different. Now. You will not learn anything by watching Clifton's flight or reveal.
Watch it after. All right, let's go through. I got my ranking. I'm ready to reveal it. Ooh, okay, yeah, I got it. Okay, should I start with my last place? I'm asking you. All right, I'll start with my last place.
Yeah.
My last place was D. Not that it was bad, but it was my last place. This is the one that I guess was 80 proof and sherry cask finish.
Okay.
Are you going to do the reveal, or do you want me to pull out my answer key?
No. You go ahead and pull yours. And then I'll comment as necessary as you
All right.
Go from last to first, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, you're gonna be mad at me. Okay, so here's the answer key. We're gonna reveal. My last place was D. Again, disclaimer: they were all very good. I would buy every one of these. For me tonight, D was not my favorite. So let's see. What was D? Oh, we have a long answer key here. All right, D. Okay.
Great.
Hope that wasn't a glass.
Nope. Just an earbud.
Okay. The D.
I still have one ear.
D was Penny Blue XO, single estate Mauritian rum. I don't know that word. Non-age shaded ex-bourbon ex-cognac cask. Interesting. This is the one I said was sherry cask. Okay.
Sherry? Yeah.
Ex-bourbon ex-cognac ex-whisky / scotch maturation. Non-chill filtered, natural color, 43.2% ABV. I guess 40% ABV.
80.
I wasn't too far off, right?
Right.
Interesting. And that's about the price of that one's about $70. Okay. I do like that. I do like it. I just don't think tonight. I think there were some other ones that overshone it. Overshone is not a word.
Yeah.
You know, overshadowed it. I don't know the word. Outshone it. That's what I meant to say. Outshone it. What do you think about this one? Is this one? I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this one.
Well, I always thought it was fairly funky when I was tasting it most of my way through the bottle. I mean, that's what the bottle looks like, and I didn't know where Mauritius was.
I have no idea. Where is it? Can you tell me?
You know that Madagascar is a little island off the east coast of Africa, and Mauritius is a smaller, much smaller island off the east coast of Madagascar. So it's basically in the Indian Ocean or over in that part, but it's a tiny little place. But this is a pretty interesting rum.
Yeah, no, it's for sure interesting. I think it's like sweeter than some of the other ones, but it's not like overpowering. Like I think you said it's not age statement, so we don't know the age on that one, but yeah, no, it's very, again, like I said, all these are good. Not shaming any of these, but my next to last, which was my fourth place, was Rum B. This is the one that I guess was 100 proof. I said bourbon cask. I couldn't get anything unique off of it just on my first impression on it. Let me take a last sip. Final sip before I lock in my answer. I think 100 proof is too high. I think I guessed a little high on the proof, but other than that, I'm going to stick with my answer. Let's see what B is. All right, B. Oh, I've had this before. Okay, this is Foursquare Detente. Detente. Wow, I'm so bad. I'm sorry. I never took French in high school.
It's a French word that no one uses.
This is pot still and calm still blend. 10 years in ex-bourbon ex-port cask. Okay, I did not get any of the port on that one, for sure. 51% ABV. I'm glad I stuck with that.
You were right about that.
That was really close to that one.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so I can picture these small distilleries on tropical islands and small countries using their bourbon casks or ex-wine casks over and over again, and not necessarily doing a new cask every time.
Right.
Things age there, and they don't always want those stronger flavors, vanilla, or wine in their rum. They just want something that'll be mostly kind of neutral and just let it age.
Yeah. No, that's... So, again, I'm a huge Foursquare fan. Again, I keep trying to defend it. I don't know why I am. But I'm just saying, like, these are...
Well,
so, I think the thing that hurts me about that is I love Foursquare, but I also love it at higher proof. So with this one coming in right at 100, it felt a little lower proof for me. But I love their cask strength releases. All right, we'll move on to my third place, which was A, which you told me was one of your favorites. So I feel a little bad, but A, I said was 105 proof. I guessed apple brandy cask finish. I didn't know. It was just a guess. I got some apple notes on that one. So I'm going to try it one last time, and then I'll reveal what A was. Yeah, it's kind of like a fruitiness that's really interesting and unique. Let's see. Oh, okay. A was the Real McCoy single blended rum 12-year, which I assume is also Barbados, right? pot still and calm still blend, ex-bourbon cask. What did I say? I said apple brandy. I'm sorry, I was off. No sugar, flavors, or color added. 46% ABV. What did I say was proof on that one? I said
105.
105. That's a bit off from 92, but it's not awful. Yeah, $50. Don't get me wrong. I love Foursquare. I love the Real McCoy. I love even their more budget line, which is the one's a Total Wine. Oh, why am I forgetting it right now?
Well, you'll run into it later, so keep going.
Okay.
So the Real McCoy is interesting because it's still that blend of pot still and column still. Mm-hmm. So like the Detente is, like their higher, level expressions are. So they have Foursquare has many brands. So
they really do, and some of them are very affordable. Like, I mean, that's one of
the hierarchy. Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah. All right. Second place. My second place was E. This is the one that I said tasted the oldest. I said it was it was 90-ish proof, and then I said Curacao cask. That was just a random guess. It had like an orange bitter flavor that kind of lended itself to that. So I'm gonna take a sip, and then we'll find out what E was. All right, E. Oh. Ha! I see why you said you didn't want to reveal what the name of the other brand was. Because it's Dorleys. That's the brand I was thinking about for Total Wine.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 12-year Dorleys. 80 proof. By the way, I said 90 proof. I was a little off. $25. Yes. I love Dorleys. I have their XO literally behind me. Dorleys XO is one of my favorite rums. One of my original patrons and viewers, his name is Swan or Sean. He turned me on to Dorleys, and I have not looked back. One of my favorites. That's a great rum.
I think this is like $25 or $30. That's what I paid for it.
Yeah, I've had that. I've actually done a stream doing all the Dorleys. I did the 3, 6, 12 XO. I think I did another one too.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite personally is the XO. I love that extra sherry cask influence on it. But all of them are just so they're just solid.
And they don't claim any any pot still rum here. I think it's just column still and bourbon cask. So they, get it across the 12-year line and put it out. And it's inexpensive for them and inexpensive for us, but really good.
I mean, I've been working my way backwards in price. My last place was $70. My next last place was $100. Okay. My third place was $50. My second place was $25. What could be my first place? So my first place was C. This is the one that I said was about 80 proof. I said apricot brandy cask. I feel like that's not right either. Yeah, C to me just there's a bit of funk, but like in a good way. I like the funk on C. So let's reveal what my first place was, which was C. Oh, interesting. I think I had a bottle of this. This is Panama-Pacific 23-year ex-bourbon cask. What did I say? I said apricot brandy. Yeah, no. Ex-bourbon cask, 42.3% ABV. So what did I say? Proof. Oh, I was close enough on proof. Give me that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was good.
And price is about $50. I will say, I thought of two brands when I said earlier, when I said I bought a 23-year-old one. This was the second one. The first brand I bought was Kirk and Sweeney. That was awful.
Okay, yeah.
Did not like Kirk and Sweeney. Super sweet.
I think there's a Zacapa 23-year-old too that really is no.
Oh, I haven't had that one. But I actually just recently finished a Panama-Pacific 23-year-old that I had.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little let down. Yeah, that's the exact bottle I had. I think the only thing that let me down about that one is it was a little sweeter than I thought. Now, tell me, is this one of the ones that they can like fudge the age statement?
I'm not sure. I suspect so, but I don't really have any way of knowing. They have a 9-year that's under. It's about $30. It's
okay.
Pretty. I mean, it tastes pretty good, and this definitely, when I sit down with it, it tastes older. This is a sipper and a thinker, and I can sit with this for a while.
Yeah, especially for the price. I mean, I think it's misleading because it's like 23 years old, but I think like if you don't think about it like that, you think about the price. It's $50. Very, very solid, and that's why like At first I was a little like let down because I again that was the next one I bought after Kirk and Sweeney that disappointed me
Hmm.
to no ends. I bought that one, thought it was good, but I think for the price it's solid. I mean, all these are solid. Can't believe that
Hmm.
came in first
Yeah.
place. Of all of these that I've only had two bottles. I've had the Real McCoy 12 and I've had this one. Crazy how like those two were in my upper part
Hmm.
of my ranking.
So think about a Scotch price for 23 years or a bourbon
Oh my
price for
gosh.
23 years, and yeah, no comparison.
Yeah, I cannot imagine. Well, I'm curious. I want to know your ranking. Now that I've given
Oh,
you mine. I want to hear your thoughts.
oh, I would probably go Foursquare Detente first,
Mm-hmm.
and then Real McCoy, and then Dorley's, Panama-Pacific, and Penny Blue. But just tasting the Penny Blue tonight, it's higher than I thought it was. It's better than I thought it was. It's
Oh,
so
really?
I don't. Yeah.
You gotta do it blind, dude. Like when I did like trust me, if this wasn't blind, I would have put Foursquare way higher. But like now that I've done it blind, like I'm
Uh-huh.
very surprised that the Foursquare. I mean, to be fair, three of these were Foursquare,
So
right? Real McCoy, Detente. I said Detente. I'm stupid. And Dorley's were Foursquare, and I did not put them all as high as I thought I would.
hmm
Very
So I did a
interesting.
blind rum tasting a couple years ago during my December Christmas celebration thing. So I didn't really get much right. It was I thought I knew the rums, and they surprised me. So
Yeah,
it's pretty common.
Cohen says Panama-Pacific
Ooh,
is
rye
aged in
cask.
bourbon and rye cask. Interesting. Too sweet for me. Cohen, that's what I thought. But then I did it blind, and I like maybe I'm wrong. So I encourage you, like, no, because I seriously had the same thought. I had that bottle, I finished it. I'm like, it's fine. You know what? I will be fair. I did mix it with some Coke. I did do a couple of rum and Cokes with that one because I'm like, oh, it's too sweet. It's too sweet. But trying it just on its own, completely blind without that preconceived notion of it, really, it really did stand out. So hey, it's a different day, a different palette, right? So, but I was really impressed. This was fun. Thank you so much for Doug. Doug, this was awesome.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah. Well, I already gave you a chance to shout out what's coming up new soon on your channel. Anyone that's new to your channel, what can you tell them? People that are joining late, can you tell them what your channel is about? What you do?
Oh, it's basically tasting basic kinds of food. I'm not really doing brand reviews of things. I'm doing like what is the range of honey flavors, varietal honeys. They're all made from flowers, and wherever there's a big crop of some commercially viable food that people are interested in, well, there's beekeepers there, and they can make a single varietal honey out of that crop. And they're really interesting. It's crazy how different they are. And it's not like the honey that you get in a grocery store. And it's crazy. And then I'm doing a big long series on cheeses. It's going to probably take 8 or 9 years, but I'm
Oh my
working my
gosh!
way through in a very methodical way. And then I do fun
Wow.
stuff like popcorn and black licorice. My black licorice crowd is the most vocal, commenting, suggestive group of any of them. So it's crazy how So we're like a it's a food that lots of people hate. So and everyone in the black licorice community knows it. So there's not a lot of black licorice channels. So my little short series gets some views. It's kind of surprising in comments and interaction.
Yeah.
So
Fun facts. I was to say
I'm
fun
up to
facts.
about
What? Oh, go ahead.
I'm up to about 650 subscribers now. So it's like serial nicheism for different kinds of foods. And fairly long series. I do 20 or 30 episodes on one sort of thing, and then move on to something else. So,
Oh, that's so fascinating. Well, I was going to make
so
two comments. One, actually, I was at work yesterday, and one of my coworkers passed around these candies to everyone. And he said, "I will not tell you what this is. One, tell me if you have any allergies, but I won't tell you anything." And we said, like, those of us said no, and we took it, and like, I liked it. It was really good, and I've always liked licorice. But then he told everyone was like surprised, like, wow, it's really good, really good. And he said, oh, it's black licorice. And some people are like, really? They were so surprised that they liked it because they had the
uh-huh.
preconceived notion of what black licorice should be. I know that I
Yeah.
like it. So like I already was like, yeah, I love this. So it just was fun. That happened yesterday at work. So it's very weird coincidence. But also look at the 8 to 9 year plan for your cheese series. I don't even know what I'm streaming like in 2 weeks. Like that's crazy. That's
Well,
awesome.
I don't know many details, but it's based on the book that I'm using as a guide. So I've only gone through 3 of the sections, and she's getting older and older and older in her cheese, lifetimes.
Mhm.
So I've only done fairly young cheeses for the most part so far. It may have been 3 or 4, may have been 4 different chapters out of a 9-chapter book. So I can see myself going another 5 years there. And I
Well,
do 20 or 30 cheeses on each one about every year. So
if
it
you
is
guys want to
fun,
spend
and I'm
the next
learning a
decade
lot.
learning about cheeses, go subscribe to him, but also other things too. That's awesome. Well, Doug, thank you so much for coming on the channel. It's been an absolute pleasure. Those of you that are
Oh,
on Patreon know. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
oh, thanks for having me. This was really fun. I liked it.
You're welcome back anytime. Would love to do another blind flight, whether it's rum, bourbon, cheese. Listen, I'm here. I'm here for it. I want to
Okay.
give a quick shout out to patrons. Like I said, we're doing our after party hangout for everyone $10 and up. Donnie posted earlier to get access to that. We also have our monthly movie night tomorrow where we're watching Die Hard, which I mentioned at the top of the stream. If you are anyways curious about Patreon, patreon.com/bourbonbites. Shoot me a message if you have any questions. But yeah, it should be a good time. And Doug, if I don't speak to you before the holidays, I hope you have an amazing holiday season. I am definitely subscribed. I cannot wait for 10 more years of cheese or what else you do next. But thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for joining us for the stream.
Great. Thanks a lot. I enjoyed it.
All right. Cheers, y'all. See y'all next week for a stream with 4-leaf whiskey. We're doing an Irish whiskey flight. Should be a lot of fun. Very, very excited for that one as well. But until next time, cheers, and I'll see y'all next video. Bye.